this repo, AWS for front end, has a very simple React demo app that we're just going to use to deploy it. It's got some client-side routes, the normal stuff that you might see, as well as kind of all the things that we're going to talk about with some pictures in a lot of cases, with arrows, and kind of everything I'm going to say is also written out as well, so you can kind of follow along both as I'm going through it, as well as kind of refer to this stuff later as well. We're using some of the least expensive parts of AWS, right? There are ways to run yourself up a hefty bill in AWS, but typically S3 and CloudFront are not the ways to do it. Even at full cost, I believe the CloudFront functions, I think after you blow through the free tier, is 3/4 of a penny for 10,000 requests, right? And stuff along those lines. But there is also a kind of free tier that you get for your first year in AWS, which is going to cover a lot of what we're going to need for now. We care mostly about these first three. I just threw a few other ones in there because they might be of interest to some of us, which is you get about 5 GB of storage on S3. There's some joke in there about how the size of your average client-side application keeps growing. Probably not to 5 gigs, though, right? I'm also going to keep that in mind, too, because there are certain choices that I'm going to make where I will explain my thinking around them, but you might philosophically make a different choice. For instance, I'll kind of give you one of them now. When I build a new version of the application, index.html is fresh, but all of the JavaScript and CSS files are fingerprinted, I don't remove the old ones, because one time in 2017, somebody accidentally deleted the wrong JavaScript files and took down production. For once, it was not me. Normally, when production goes down, it's my fault. But yeah, so those are reasons, but you might choose that does not fit with your just general aesthetic, and that is totally fine. That is just my choice. CloudFront, we get 1 terabyte of data transfer, people pulling down the cached versions of our site. So that is part of also why, and some of these also have a monthly amount of free usage as well. It's usually only once you go over. When we expel stuff from the cache in CloudFront, you get 1,000 invalidations a month. So a question I got a lot of times was what happens if we go past that? Well, 1, it's pennies, and 2, if we're deploying more than 1,000 times a month, I'm okay, right? My team will pay for those pennies. So yeah, just kind of things to kind of think about. And there are ways to kind of calculate this, but like I said, sometimes you don't really know. And usually your biggest bills are from boo-boos, not from the paved path. But like I said, for the technologies that we will be using today, a lot of them are definitely some of the safer for your wallet in these cases. That said, even if you're using the free tier, AWS is not going to let you sign up without a credit card. Part of the reason for that is, yes, in case you do run up a big bill. The other part, having worked at SaaS companies before, which is if you give people access to your infrastructure and you don't make them give you a credit card, they will use it for bad things, right? And so a lot of cases, some of that is just fraud prevention stuff as well. So with that, we're going to go through the process of setting up an account. I have some of the screenshots here as well. I'm going to go through it with you, but at some point we will kind of take a break as I do the fun part of putting in my phone number and my credit card.